Back in the 1700s, there was this idea that by being a woman, you weren't intended to be in a role where you showed intelligence or a role where you showed brawn and might, because that would intimidate those that would pass you by. To be a woman back then was merely the concept of being married off and having children. But that wasn't the role every woman wanted, and today's true pirate legend showcases a woman who would not only make a name for herself in her aggressiveness, but also in her wits and determination. This is the story of Anne Bonny. Anne Bonny's history is not necessarily set in stone, and there are some aspects of her life that remain a mystery to this day. So much of what will be said in this video is based from Charles Johnson's A General History of Pirates. We speculate that Anne was born in and around 1700 in County Cork, Ireland. She was the daughter of a lawyer by the name of William Cormac and a servant woman by the name of Mary Brennan, who was employed under William at that time. Cormac had moved to London to reprieve himself of his wife's family. Make note that his wife at the time was not the mother of Anne. Therefore, Cormac had taken it upon himself to dress Anne as a boy and took her under his wing to work as a lawyer's clerk. His wife had discovered that Cormac was raising an illegitimate daughter and stopped supporting him, thus making Cormac leave for the province of Carolina, taking along his daughter Anne and his former servant girl who was the legitimate mother. Once in Carolina, Cormac used his knowledge of law and his ability to sell and trade goods and would eventually be able to purchase a plantation just out of town. Cormac would try to establish himself a lawyer, but his knowledge of goods would lead him to a more profitable merchant business. Shortly after, Anne's mother would pass away. At the age of 17, Anne would begin showcasing her aggressive side, supposedly stabbing a servant girl with a knife and beating a boy up so badly it left him laid out with injuries for some time. Anne would eventually marry a poor sailor, a small-time pirate by the name of James Bonny. Bonny would look to win possession of her father's plantation. But Anne's father recognized this fraudster, and Bonny was disowned by her father as he did not see James as an appropriate husband for his daughter and did not approve of the marriage. Anne reportedly would burn down her father's plantation in retaliation. Both James and Anne would move to Nassau, New Providence, in and around 1714 and 1718. James would become an informant for Governor Woodes Rogers in 1718 and would report to the governor about the pirates in the area, which resulted in many pirates being arrested and sentenced to death. Anne was reportedly very displeased with her husband's work. In and around 1719, Anne would meet a local pirate by the name of John Calico Jack Rackham. Both would shortly after become lovers. Rackham would even go as far as to offer Anne's husband at the time, James, money to allow his wife to divorce him, but James would refuse this offer. Leaving no choice, both Rackham and Anne would escape shortly and leave her husband behind, and Anne would join Rackham's crew and marry Rackham at sea. To amalgamate her to the crew and push away any other pirates, Rackham would dress Anne as a boy to disguise her. Only he, along with his second-in-command, Mary Read, would know of this disguise. That is until she became pregnant. Rackham would take Anne to Cuba, where she gave birth to a son, but shortly after she would rejoin Rackham to continue their pirate life, and this time not hide behind a disguise. Rackham and his two women would recruit a new crew and spend years in Jamaica and the surrounding area capturing ships and killing many people while plundering tons of treasure. It said that Anne was very well versed in combat and would train alongside men and showed no remorse for her actions. Governor Rogers would even name her in a wanted pirates poster published by the Boston News Letter. In 1720, the governor of Jamaica had contracted a pirate hunter by the name of Jonathan Barnett to hunt down Rackham and his crew. Jonathan would find his target and had very little resistance once the battle commenced, considering much of Rackham's crew were drunk at the time and unable to fight. They were taken to Jamaica and sentenced to hang by governing laws. Anne would have this to say to Rackham before his hanging: "Had you fought like a man, you need not have been hanged like a dog." Both Anne Bonny and Mary Read pleaded their bellies and asked for mercy as both were pregnant. The court granted them a stay of execution until they gave birth. Read supposedly died from a fever in prison while giving birth, whereas Anne stayed in prison until giving birth. This is where Anne's history becomes lost. Many claim that Anne stayed in prison afterwards and was reprieved from time to time. Others claim that her former husband James Bonny would release her from prison and she would leave with him. Some reports claim that her father would return and release her from prison using his fortune, and she would reconcile with him. Very little is known about what may have happened to Anne Bonny, but what is known is that she was never executed while imprisoned. Now, Anne Bonny has been immortalized in today's media just as a majority of all the other pirates we've covered. She's made appearances on the Assassin's Creed Black Flag video game and also in the Black Sails TV series. There is also a film developed in 1951 called Anne of the Indies, which is based on Anne Bonny, but a completely fictionalized story. So let's just ignore that one. What do you guys think happened to Anne? Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you everyone for watching, and please remember to hit that like button, sub to the channel, and ding that bell to know when content gets uploaded. Also, please share this video to those who you think would enjoy something like this. Thank you all for watching, and thank you for everyone for leaving comments in the last video. I always appreciate them, and I always respond to every comment that I possibly can. Thank you for watching, set sails, and remember to heal. Please heal.